Your team is very good. I would say the Greek is a seriously good player. Do you agree? And tell me, who has more Greek in him, the Greek or me? I think we have about the same, right?
Donald Trump came to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and had the gall to say this of Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo.
If you are black or Latino, and you feel like too often your community is overlooked by politicians except during election time, I get how you feel. But why would you think the answer is to vote for someone who has a long history of demeaning and disregarding your communities, whose family business was sued for not renting to folks that look like you, who cannot apparently understand how an NBA superstar could be both Greek and black?
Former President Barack Obama, love him or hate him, hit the nail on the head here. This is rather simple. We all know what we see. We also have a history and a track record from this deplorable human being and how he feels about stuff like this. But let's just read the quote one more time, okay? Trump said, your team is very good. They are not. They have one win on the season going into this speech. I would say the Greek, because he can't pronounce Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis Antetokounmpo. So he says the Greek. He doesn't even know the Greek freak. He just says the Greek is a seriously good player. And tell me, who has more Greek in him, the Greek or me? I think we have about the same. Now, let's unpack that, shall we? Donald Trump does not have an ounce of Greek in him. Via the Huffington Post, it's worth noting Trump and his family, well, his family is of German and Scottish heritage. It's been well documented. So, Giannis 1, Trump 0. Asking if you are more Greek than a man who is a Greek citizen is insane. Asking if you are more Greek than a man who speaks fluent Greek. Again, asking if you're more Greek than a man who represented his national team, also served as flag bearer, and I believe served for the Greek military. What are we doing here, man? It's insane. It's also very racist. It's super racist. Like, you go to Milwaukee, you go into the stadium where Giannis plays basketball professionally for those people that you're trying to cater to, and you say this. Let's be honest, all right? Why does he struggle so much with race?
You believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say, no, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that she is...
I think somebody should look into that, too, when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
And it's nothing new.
Is this you discussing Indian blood? We're going to judge people by whether they have Indian blood, whether they're qualified to run a gaming casino or not?
That probably is me, absolutely. Because I'll tell you what, if you look at some of the reservations that you've approved, you, sir, in your great wisdom have approved, I will tell you right now, they don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like the Indians. Now, maybe we say politically correct or not politically correct. They don't look like Indians to me, and they don't look like Indians to Indians, and a lot of people are laughing at it, and you're telling how tough it is, how rough it is to get approved. Well, you go up to Connecticut, and you look. Now, they don't look like Indians to me, sir.
Thank God that's not the test of whether or not people have rights in this country or not, whether or not they pass your look test.
Depends whether or not you're approving it, sir.
No, it's not a question whether I'm approving it. It's not a question whether I'm approving it. Mr. Trump, you know in the history of this country where we've heard this discussion before, they don't look Jewish to me.
Oh, really?
They don't look Indian to me. They don't look Italian to me.
He's done it over.
It's good enough for the state of Hawaii and the State Department.
Okay.
U.S. State Department recognizes these as legitimately.
It's not a birth certificate, Candy, and people are trying to figure out why isn't he giving his birth certificate. It's not a birth certificate. A certificate of live birth, and you can see that one that you have and the one that I brought you, because that's the one that's on the internet and all over the place. It doesn't even have a serial number. And I just say very simply, why doesn't he show his birth certificate?
And over.
Today, President Trump is not backing away from his stunningly racist attack on a group of minority members of Congress. Instead, he's trying to defend it, denying it was racist and spewing even more divisiveness.
These are people that, in my opinion, hate our country. All I'm saying that if they're not happy here, they can leave. They can leave, and you know what? I'm sure that there'll be many people that won't miss them.
Yesterday, Mr. Trump tweeted that progressive Democratic congresswomen who, quote, originally came from countries whose governments are a complete and total catastrophe, unquote, should, quote, go back and help fix the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they came, then come back and show us how it's done. These places need your help badly. You can't leave fast enough, unquote. President Trump seemed to be referencing Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib, and Ayanna Pressley, who were born in New York City, Detroit, and Cincinnati, respectively, as well as Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who came to the U.S. as a child, a refugee from Somalia. She's been a U.S. citizen since she was a teenager.
And over again. Now, Giannis has responded via the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. I'm not aware of the comments he said, adding, at the end of the day, I don't follow politics that much. And the little that I follow, I try to keep my political views to myself and my family. I'm here to, win basketball games and not answer to non-basketball questions, but I wish both candidates best of luck. It's not totally true, by the way, because I do remember when the Black Lives Matter movement came about and Donald Trump made those horrendous comments about protesters, horrendous comments about the movement. Giannis was out there in the streets protesting, speaking to crowds. So I don't necessarily buy this because we also know from his past actions where he has stood on certain social issues. But from Dan on Twitter. So Trump's joke here is that he, Trump, who is not Greek in the slightest, is just as Greek as Giannis Antetokounmpo, who was born in Greece, speaks Greek, and is a Greek citizen, but also black. The man can't even compliment a local athlete without slipping into casual racism. 1,000% yes. 1,000%. Because that's what it boils down to. It comes down to Donald Trump, a white man, letting the casual, not even casual, but to some, the casual racism fly. Because what he sees is not a person who was born in Athens, Greece. What he sees is a black person. So there's no way that he could be Greek. Look at him. That's what Trump is saying. How y'all let this man get away with it over and over again, it's just baffling. And to those supporters that were there and hear this, what frightens me over and over again, as we have covered these rallies so many times, is that they don't get it. There is a reason why Republicans want the electorate dumbed down. It's so they will not utilize critical thinking skills and just understand how deeply bigoted this man is. Calling out elite people in comedy should be the rule of thumb.
I think Donald Trump's hair is actually another creature.
Yeah.
The hair's like going, good night, Donald. Good night, Donald. Here we go.
Maybe it goes out. It goes out and makes money while he's asleep.
There is something about punching down that feels taboo, and punching up is the way to go.
Crack's not really my thing, but if it was, it would be fine if I was on that side.
Wow.
Don Jr.'s on coke.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
I'm a very stable genius.
It is very important, the work that the Jordan Kleppers are doing, the work that the Good Liars are doing, the work that our team here at the Turks are doing, and many more.
What he does, he secretly puts the marker on the end of the putter, and then he looks like he's marking it, but really, now the mark is 3 feet closer. That's a way easier putt.
He cheats a lot. That if you cheat at golf, you cheat at life. The saying goes for Donald Trump.